Hi guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Today is Monday, January 23rd, 2017. Gold is currently trading at $1,216.10. Silver right now is at $17.21. And I wanted to get into some economic factors that are going to be playing in for the price of precious metals. Number one, we all have noticed the impact on retail across the United States. I'm sure no matter where you are in the United States, you're going to see some closed down malls or shops. And what do they credit this to? To dynamic changes. To people are going into these, outside style shopping centers, WalMarts, things like that, and online. But no, we see a major drop across retail all over the United States. There is some online. And this is of course to be expected. The dynamics is much easier for the consumer, delivered right to your door. And so, but the impact will be felt nationally of what this means, because number one, it's easier for the consumer and it's easier for the retailer. When it comes to retail, it's millions of square feet of stores that need maintained, lights, heat, that need to be kept up to code, and also employ people to do that. There's property taxes. And also thousands of employees to run it. So the costs will run up for the local municipalities from these kinds of impacts. They lose, what was $100 million tax income location to now a dark mall. So it's going to affect other things. Some things you got to think about. Well, retail's still up, it's online, but think about the contractors. Think about the maintenance people, the people that come in to clean those locations, the electric companies. Think about the impact on the economy. Think about the thousands of employees that used to operate these stores, and on their way to work, whether they stop at the Starbucks to buy a coffee, stop at the gas station to get gas, all these things, they come into effect. All of the businesses that are surrounding those malls, the restaurants that are surrounding those malls, are all affected by this. There's more strain on the local governments because these little shopping districts, and they bring in traffic, not just specifically for the malls, but they bring in traffic to all the businesses around there. In fact, the way some of these communities are set up, not everyone's near a city, but say there's a small city in an area, all of the surrounding towns come and purchase their goods there. And if there's no more these malls or retail locations or online retail locations, it's going to compound the problem. More money is going to start flowing into these online retailers. So the guys at the top are still making money, but the economy is going to be felt nationwide, this impact from this. And we're losing several million retail jobs. I mean, Aeropostale just announced it was going to be closing more stores, BCBG. Where do these people find work? A lot of the people that go in and they're serving over the counter at these Aeropostales, these retailers, these Macy's, things like this. It's a very specific kind of work. Retail has been the crutch for our raging unemployment epidemic. That's the only way to describe it, is an epidemic. They're counting the GDP operating so high. They count healthcare in the GDP. Obamacare inflating numbers to try to say that this economy is somehow recovering so much better because they're forcing every United States citizen to be able to purchase a product, and then picking specifically who will benefit, which insurance companies will benefit from that product. So the recovery is not going as grand as they think. No, they just have taken the money and redirected it to different partners in this grand scheme and manipulation of our economy. But retail has been the crutch for this raging unemployment problem with the loss of manufacturing. In all reality, they planned for this. They redefined what it means to be unemployed back in the 90s before they were signing NAFTA. They knew that we were going to be losing jobs, that we were going to be shifting millions of manufacturing jobs overseas because of this NAFTA plan before they signed it. I remember the speech. It's a new period of economic prosperity for American workers. We're going to be making American goods and selling them. all this hope and glitter, and then really they had already prepared for the loss of manufacturing jobs being outsourced to these other countries. They had already prepared for it, and they redefined what it means to be actively unemployed. And if you give up searching for a job after 1 year, you're considered a discouraged worker and no longer on the unemployment rolls or numbers. So when they say we have unemployment rate down to 4.6, it may actually mean something much, much worse. It means that, the unemployment numbers that are really around 20%, it means these people have given up hope of finding a job, or they're settling for these retail locations. Mortgage applications have taken a huge dip. We have inflated housing prices that are not matching up with the demand. Millennials are not making enough money to be able to buy houses at these overinflated levels. In fact, speaking about those small towns, the town center in America is no more. Walmart has shut them down. They thrive in economies where there's no competitors. The only place that's kind of maintaining any kind of property value would be the cities. They have high value real estate. They have jobs to back it up. And this is what you're not really thinking of, where there used to be these small town economies and small cities and things like that, when they're suffering so bad dramatically. I mean, if you take a look around Buffalo, it looks like a war zone full of shut down factories. You look at Rochester, New York, full of empty factories. Look at Detroit. These are massive major cities. Detroit has lost half its population. Now, and the town center in America, it's no more. The cities that have high value real estate and jobs to back it up, everyone with any money or education has moved into the cities. It's further degrading this housing collapse crisis, and the disparity is rising. The disparity between the value of the house and the ability to sell it. Like, there's some of these lower income areas and economies where people can't sell a house at the inflated house values, and it's going to need to come down. It's going to need to have a correction. And with the money they produced, there was no real solution. The interest rate hike, we're going to see very quickly this tax revenue begins flowing into the Federal Reserve, all of our tax revenue. So we will have no fixing of some of these problems, these roads, these schools. We've had 10 years of 0% interest rates, increasing the debt. No response by the economy, by the way, to all this stimulus. And yet a raging stock market, lowering retail sales. There must be a correction. And after that, more quantitative easing. This will increase the value of silver through inflation. Or back in 2008, at any time they release QE, quantitative easing. A recession must take place to fix things like inflated food prices, inflated housing prices. They must match the actual real production for the average American worker, the average American family, or else we're just going to continue to have these empty skyscrapers in Detroit, these empty buildings. And the snapback will be worse than it would have been if the free market corrected itself back when they started this crash. The crash this time will be much worse. Because of these highly inflated numbers, these manipulated numbers, these controlled numbers, where they're printing this money into existence, if they let it correct, it will be a scary time. Great time for silver and gold. And if they print money to avoid it, great news for silver and gold. Either way, we are in the midst of a dying American economy, and they're lying to us. And they plan for this. Don't think at any point that they're not in control and manipulating the world events to benefit themselves. Don't think that these companies have not profited. I mean, the retailers in the United States have had record profits. The businesses in the United States have had record profits despite the massive layoffs. The American worker losing money, yet they're still continuing to have profits. And it's because it's inflated, and it's a rigged system. And it is coming crashing down. When they begin to lose control, like I said, they control everything. When they begin to lose control, then it's time for massive panics and massive crashes, massive corrections that they force, and they will blame on a new administration. We will end up with whoever they select for the Democratic Party, and at the next time, probably Bernie Sanders, switch this whole country right over to socialism, communism. and we'll see a massive correction. We'll blame it on the politics of lower taxes. Why would anyone want lower taxes? Look how badly it hurts the American worker. That's what they'll say. Who would want less regulation on businesses? Obviously, that was the problem that caused the crash. This is what they'll say. This is why they've been feeding us this propaganda saying that we're in the middle of an Obama economic boom. The Fed needs to raise interest rates. It's only to initiate the crash sequence. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe, like the videos, share if you'd like, leave a comment in the comment box with any suggestions, any ideas you might have. I thank you guys for everyone who's been giving me input and for stopping by. Again, there'll be more videos coming out just like this, so be sure to subscribe for updates. All right, thank you guys. Have a great day.